Hello, welcome back. So we're going to take a look today about the enhanced for loop, which we spoke about in the previous video. And in the previous video, we had a look at the deck of cards example when we went through the constructor and the shuffle method. And there are more simpler ways to write for loops, and this is one of the examples. So with a for loop, we already know that we have a counter, so intercount equals intercount or intercounter is equal to 0. Semicolon counter is less than the array dot length, because we don't want the array to be out of bounds, so it has to be less than the length, because the index is less than the length, and then counter plus plus to post to increment it. So what this does is it's a shorter version. So along with other languages, same as in English, you want it to be more concise, easier to read, get to the point. So here we have an int array, which we know from the 2 square brackets. It's called array, and it is a list of 1 to 10. It already knows, so the index of 1 is 0, and then it goes to 9, okay? It's important. And then the int total is equal to 0. So now we have add each element's value to total. So with this enhanced for, it iterates through the elements of an array without using a counter. So it's basically, there's avoiding the possibility of stepping outside the array. So you don't have the problem with a counter is less than array.length. So we show how to use this, and this is part of what's called collections. It's another data structure, which we'll come to later. So we've learned 3 data structures now. We've learned last in, first out, which is to do with the stack call with methods, the method call stack. And we also learned that it's popping off and pushing on the stack, and we use plates as the example. And then this is now the enhanced for loop is part of the Java API's pre-built data structures called collections. So it's another data structure. So our parameter has a type. So the type is int and an identifier, so number, and then array name. So that's the array name here. So that's identifiable with this. Okay. The type of the parameter must be consistent with the type of the elements of the array. So it has to be int. So int number is also, it's an integer array. And then we have our for each iteration, then assign the next element of the array to the int variable number, and then execute the following statement. So we have assign it to number, and then number then gets added to total. So that's the same as writing total plus equals array square bracket counter close square bracket. So if we were to use the old for statement, so if I write out the old for statement, it would be the same as saying for int counter is equal to 0, because the index starts at 0. Counter is less than array dot length, and then counter plus plus, and then we have our total, and then that's going to be plus equals array counter, no space after, and then semicolon. So these two are exactly the same. They do the same things. It's just that this is an enhanced for statement, and that is it for today. So we've learned the enhanced for statement. With the enhanced for statement, then it can only be used to obtain the array elements. It can't be used to modify the elements. That's also very important. If your program needs to modify it, then use the traditional. So if you have to change the elements or modify them, use this. If you don't have to, if it just adds or uses it, or needs to obtain the elements, then you use the enhanced for statement. Yeah, and because it doesn't allow, it doesn't require the counter to be used. And that's it for today. So thanks for watching. And if you have any feedback, as usual, send it to learncomputerswithali@gmail.com. And thanks for subscribing.